The engines thundered down the quiet countryside road, startling a flock of birds into flight. A group of bikers, dusty from travel, roared past a faded sign that read, Mason's Corner Store. Their leather jackets flashed in the sunlight, patches of skulls and eagles stitched across their backs. To most people, they looked like trouble, men who lived by no rules but their own. But today, fate was about to write a story that even the toughest of them would never forget. Ryder, the leader of the group, cut the engine of his Harley and leaned back slightly, his tired eyes scanning the quiet town. He was a man in his 40s, face lined by time, beard flecked with gray, eyes haunted by a past he never spoke about. He'd led this gang for years, been through fights, losses, long nights on the road, but something about this town felt different, heavier somehow. "All right, boys," he said, voice rough but calm. "Grab some drinks, stretch your legs. We ride again in 30. The bikers nodded and filed into the little shop. The old wooden door creaked, the small bell above it jingling softly. Inside, the air smelled of old wood and coffee. Behind the counter, the shopkeeper, an old man with spectacles and a kind but cautious expression, watched them enter. People like these didn't usually come here. As Ryder scanned the shelves for bottled water, he noticed something in the far corner. Two small figures stood near the refrigerator where the milk was kept. A boy and a girl, barefoot, clothes wrinkled and dusty, their faces pale but filled with determination. The boy couldn't have been older than 9, the girl, maybe 7. They whispered quietly to each other, holding hands tightly. The boy held a small coin, just one. Ryder watched as the boy approached the counter. "Sir," the boy said softly, "can we please have one bottle of milk?" The old shopkeeper sighed deeply. "Son, I told you yesterday. I can't keep giving you milk without payment. I'm sorry, I really am." The girl tugged on her brother's sleeve. "Please, mister," she said, her voice fragile but desperate. "It's for our baby brother. He's hungry. We'll pay you back, when we grow up." The old man looked at them sadly but shook his head. "Sweetheart, you said that last time. I have to make a living too. I can't keep giving things away." Silence filled the store. One of the bikers snickered under his breath. "Hey boss," he murmured, "they trying to make a deal on milk now?" But Ryder didn't laugh. He was staring at the two children, something stirring deep in his chest, something he hadn't felt in years. A memory flashed through his mind, a small boy, much like this one, standing at a store counter with an empty stomach and a trembling voice, begging for bread. That boy had been him, long ago. Ryder stepped forward, boots thudding heavily on the wooden floor. "What's going on here?" he asked the shopkeeper. His tone was firm, but not unkind. The shopkeeper sighed again, explaining, "These two, they're orphans. Their parents died in a car crash on the highway about a year ago. They live out by the edge of town with their baby brother. The neighbors help when they can, but times are hard. They come here now and then asking for milk, but..." The boy clenched his fists and interrupted softly, "We're not begging. We just need the milk now. When we grow up, we'll work and pay every cent back. That's our promise." Ryder knelt down to their level, his large frame towering but his eyes soft. "What's your name, kid?" "Tommy," the boy said. "And this is my sister, Lily." Ryder's voice dropped low. "Tommy, how old are you?" 9, the boy said proudly, "and I'm already strong enough to work." Lily nodded. "We can clean, we can help at the store, we'll do anything." The shopkeeper's eyes grew moist. They've been trying to manage on their own. Their father, Eli Thomas, used to fix cars down by Highway 12. He was a good man. Died saving people in that accident last year. Their mother passed a few months later from the stress and illness. Ryder froze. His heart skipped a beat. "Wait, Eli Thomas?" he asked, voice trembling slightly. "Yes," said the shopkeeper. "Why?" Ryder stood slowly, memories flooding back like a wave. "That night on Highway 12. I had an accident. My bike crashed into a ditch. A man pulled me out before the bike exploded. That man, he said his name was Eli." The entire store went silent. Ryder looked down at the two children, his throat tightening. "Your father saved my life." Lily blinked. He did?" Ryder nodded slowly. "Yeah, I never got to thank him." The boy's eyes filled with tears. Then you knew him. You knew our dad?" Ryder swallowed hard. "Yeah, kid. He was brave. He didn't even know me, but he didn't think twice about helping. The little girl whispered, he used to say that helping people makes the world softer. That was it, the breaking point. Ryder turned to the shopkeeper and said quietly, give them all the milk they need. And anything else they want. Put it on my tab. The old man hesitated. Ryder, that's not. Do it, Ryder said, placing a thick roll of bills on the counter. And keep the change. Tommy shook his head. No, sir. We can't take charity. We'll pay you back one day. I promise. Ryder smiled sadly, eyes glistening. No, son. You've already paid me back, more than you'll ever know. When the bikers walked out of that store, they were different men. Their laughter was gone, their faces thoughtful. That night, Ryder sat by the campfire with his crew. The stars above were silent witnesses as he told them everything, about Eli, about that crash, about how a man he never knew had saved him without hesitation. The next morning, they rode again, but not out of town. They rode to the edge of the forest where the children lived. When they arrived, they saw the small shack, roof half collapsed, walls cracked, no proper door. Inside, the baby cried softly. The sight broke even the hardest biker's heart. Without saying a word, Ryder grabbed a hammer from his saddlebag and started repairing the fence. The others followed, one fetched wood, another brought food, another called in favors for blankets, supplies, even clothes. The air was soon filled with the sound of hope being rebuilt, one nail, one laugh, one tear at a time. The children watched in disbelief. Why are you helping us? Tommy asked quietly. Ryder looked up, sweat on his forehead. Because your dad once helped me when he didn't have to. This is how I repay him. Lily smiled softly. Dad would like that. Days passed, and the house became whole again. The bikers came every morning with food and supplies. The baby began to smile. The boy began to laugh again. For the first time in months, there was light in their little home. Before leaving one day, Tommy handed Ryder a small folded paper. This is for you, he said shyly. Ryder opened it. In messy handwriting, the note read, we'll keep our promise. When we grow up, we'll find you, and pay for the milk. Ryder smiled through tears and knelt to hug the boy. Don't worry about that. Just grow up good and strong. That's all the payment I need. Years later, Ryder sat in a small roadside cafe near the same highway. His beard was gray now, his jacket old and worn. He had seen countless towns, countless people, but he never forgot those kids. He often wondered where they were, if they were safe, if they still remembered. One sunny afternoon, two young adults walked in, a man and a woman. The man wore a mechanic's uniform, the woman held a bouquet of fresh flowers. They looked around, then approached Ryder's table. Are you Ryder? The young man asked politely. Ryder looked up, puzzled. Yeah, do I know you? The young man smiled. You might not recognize us. I'm Tommy. This is my sister, Lily. We came to return the money for the milk. For a moment, Ryder couldn't speak. Then he smiled, tears forming. You really remembered? Lily nodded. You helped us when we had no one. Our dad would have wanted us to keep our word. Ryder reached out, holding their hands firmly. You already did, kids. You grew up honest, hardworking, kind. That's the best kind of payment there is. Lily's eyes shone. We also rebuilt Dad's old workshop. We call it Eli's garage. We help people for free, those who can't afford repairs. Just like he used to. Ryder smiled proudly. He'd be proud of you. And so am I. The three of them sat together, sharing stories, laughter, and tears. The cafe owner watched from afar, touched by the sight. When the siblings finally left, Ryder stayed behind, staring out at the horizon. The wind whispered softly through the trees, and he smiled. Sometimes, the smallest promise, a bottle of milk, a note scribbled in a child's handwriting, can change hearts forever. And sometimes, the toughest men cry not out of pain, but because they finally remember what love, kindness, and humanity truly mean.